Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Monday, March 11th, 2024. Another wonderful day. Yes, it's another wonderful day to be thankful and to focus on what is good, because I always say, if you focus on what is good, then you can project something good to happen when you focus on what is good. Because if you are focusing on the negative things, there are no benefits. No, there are no benefits in focusing on the negative things. So focus on what is good today and make sure you keep your spirit lifted. Because when you keep your spirit lifted, that's self-love. That's right. Love yourself to keep your spirit lifted. If you are out there traveling about today, make sure you say a prayer. It doesn't hurt to pray. Make sure you stay focused by not being on your phone too much in the public. It is important to pay attention to what is going on in your environment. So don't be distracted. Stay focused. Make sure you keep yourself safe and your family members safe. Use that hand sanitizer, wash your hands, and just keep yourself safe. We are living in a time of some crazy things, unfortunately, but we want to focus on what is good. So make sure you pray, stay focused, and keep yourself safe. If you would like to give to the podcast, please give at Cash App $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. Thank you so much for your donations and your support. And I always remind you of all of these things because I care. Doesn't it feel good to be cared for? Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it feels good to be cared for. Well, I do have an inspirational quote for you today. And my inspirational quote is, in the midst of every blessing, don't become consumed with deceit. Stay humble and remember where all of your blessings come from. That's right. I'm going to read it one more time. In the midst of every blessing, don't become consumed with deceit. Stay humble and remember where all of your blessings come from. That inspirational quote gave me so much to think about when I wrote it today. I started thinking about how when everything is going right in our lives, some people, and they tend to forget about what is important in life, unfortunately. Some people tend to forget about the times that God came through for them when everything is going right. Some people tend to forget about the time they prayed and their prayer was answered. Some people tend to forget about what is important when everything is going right in their life. When the blessings come through and everything is flowing a certain way, some people just become different. Some people become very haughty and arrogant and prideful. And of course, sadly, deceitful. Deceitful, why? Because deceit is very sneaky. It just sneaks up on a person. And a person that's very deceptive or deceitful, they don't even know that they are deceitful. They just think they are just being themselves. But deceit can come to one's mindset in the midst of blessings. Yes, that's right. Deceit can come to one's mind in the midst of blessings. Why and how? Because in the midst of everything going right, or everything just flowing beautifully in your life, some people just become too comfortable. And they let their guard down. They think they have it all together. But in the midst of every blessing, and when everything is flowing right and things are going good, that is the perfect time to be more humble. That is the perfect time to be more prayerful. That is the perfect time to be even more grateful. Yes, that's the perfect time. Because when we as human beings become haughty and arrogant because of something going well for us or something we achieved or just favor happening in our life, when we get a prideful attitude about that kind of stuff, it's not good. It's not healthy. It's not good. And it's more safe to stay humble. Why do I say it's more safe? Because humility is an open door for more grace and more wisdom and knowledge. Because God resists the proud. If you are one of those people, and if you know anything about the Bible, God always resists the proud. A proud person thinks they don't need God. A prideful person thinks they don't need God. A person that looks around their life and say, oh, I did all this myself. I built this business and I did this and I did, I. That kind of person thinks they don't need God. And that's really sad because we all need God. And when I say we need God, I'm not talking about in a religious way. I'm talking about in a spiritual way. We need God because He is the source of life. We need God because without Him, we are just a speck of dirt in the earth. Yes, we are. Without Him, without God, we won't have anything. He is the source of all life and all things that help us to be better. So in the midst of every blessing, in the midst of everything flowing beautifully in your life, don't become consumed with deceit, because deceit comes to blindfold your eyes. It comes to hoodwink you. It comes to make you blind toward the things that you should be really paying attention to. I remember in the past, there were seasons in my life and things were just going awesomely great. Not one problem. Everything was just perfect almost. Everything. Money flowing all over the place. Just good stuff happening. One thing after the next. And right in the midst of that season, I kept telling myself, I got to stay humble. I got to stay humble and I got to focus on God and I got to stay humble. But in the midst of all the good things that was happening, I'm not ashamed to say, deceit came in. Yes, it did. Oh, yes. Deceit came in. And when it came in, it was like something really sneaky that, like I said, it's sneaky. It came in and my thought patterns changed. Yes, my thought patterns changed. And did I forget about God? No, I didn't forget about God. But I almost forgot about what was really important for myself. I started making bad choices and decisions, unfortunately. For just a quick moment, I was even around the wrong people. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm telling on myself right now. I am not ashamed to say it. And so in that space, my spirit and my mind was like, okay, now you on the wrong path. It's time to jump back over. And so I jumped back on the path that I needed to be on, which was examining myself, staying focused, being prayerful, and remembering to stay humble. And I'm really, really grateful for that experience, because in the midst of every blessing, you have to stay grateful. And in the midst of every blessing, you have to be careful. Yes, you have to be careful not to be consumed with deceit. When you look at the news and when you look at social media and you look at just the world, people are consumed with houses, cars, money, going to school and just making money and more money, and my kids got money, my grandkids got money. Everything's about money, 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 cars, clothes, name brands. That's what everything is about. And when people are consumed with material things, they tend to forget about what is important. They tend to forget about the things in life that are foundationally significant. And because of that, unfortunately, they become prideful. Yes, they become prideful. And when they become prideful, they start to look at life as if they have done all of these things for themselves when it comes to just even breathing. They think they got control over their own breath. They gave themselves breath in their own body. That's how prideful they become. Now, we all know money can't buy your breath, and no check, no credit card can buy breath, right? We know. Let's be real. Only God gives breath for you to live every single day. Now, there's no lie in that. That's the truth. If you think I'm not lying, then you try not breathing. You try not breathing. Because the point of what I'm saying is this. God is the giver of life. He is the source of life. He is the giver of everything that we have. And yes, we have gone to school and we have worked hard. But without strength, would you be able to work hard? Who gave you strength? Without some type of focus, would you be able to be intelligent as you are? Who gave you that? Some people would say, oh, that's just genetic. No, it's not genetic. There were days when you wanted to give up. Who gave you the endurance? Who gave you the tenacity or the strength to keep going? Who gave you that? God gave you that. Yes. So we can't look at our life and just think to ourselves, oh, well, I made this. I made this. God didn't do this for me. I made this. We can't say that. We can't say that. None of us can say that. And as much as some people do say things like that, sadly, they will find out soon that God has been the giver of everything in their lives. So in the midst of every blessing, that is the perfect time to stay grateful, to stay humble, and to really examine ourselves to stay on the right track. Because in the midst of every blessing, we should not be prideful. We should not be high and lifted up and haughty. In the midst of every blessing, we should turn our attention to being a blessing for someone else. In the midst of every blessing, we should think about doing charity work if possible. Yes, in the midst of every blessing, we should always consider giving back or doing something for others. Because when much is given, much is required. As much as God has blessed you and as much as He has given you, you are now required to do something for someone else or to help someone else to get ahead. Because the more you help someone else, then in return, God will help you even more to get to the next level. But remember, in the midst of every blessing, don't become consumed with deceit. We must stay humble and remember where all of our blessings come from. This is a reminder for me personally, because when all is going on that is good in my life, when all is going on that is good in my life, I am reminded, okay, stay humble. Stay humble. Be considerate of others. Be attentive to what is important. I'm reminded of that. And so, like I said, Writing this inspirational quote is something I will keep in front of me constantly, because that's what's important. Getting wrapped up and consumed with all the stuff that's going on in the world to the point where you just don't think about what's important anymore, that's not good. Because this world is nothing good. Let's be real about it. And I'm not being negative by saying that. This world is filled with a lot of crazy stuff going on. The world is filled with a lot of systems of different things that are not good. We know that the earth is beautiful. When you think about the earth and how it was created and all the beautiful things around the earth is beautiful. But the world is terrible. When I think about the earth, I see something that God created that is beautiful. But when I think about the world, when I hear the word world, I think about a bunch of systems. Systems that don't care nothing about the poor. Systems that don't care nothing about the homeless. Systems that don't care nothing about these third world countries. Systems that hold people back and don't help people to be the best they can be. That's the world. But when you think about the earth, when I think about the earth, I think about a replenishing system, a recycling system. Everything's replenished. The water, the trees, the oceans, fresh fruit, vegetables are growing all over the place. I think about everything just plush, because I believe that was God's intention from the beginning, for everything to be nothing missing, nothing lacking. But when you think about the systems of the world, it's filled with a lot of gray and darkness. But I just wanted to mention that to give you more understanding of what I am saying. We have to have, and we should have, a sound mindset. A sound mindset that helps us to be better people. A sound mindset that helps us to learn and be open-minded for change. A sound mindset that helps us to understand what our purpose is about as individuals. We all have been through different seasons, ups, downs, but God has been with us all through all seasons. And so I hope that what I'm saying, you will truly take something from this, because in this hour that we live, God is the only one that is unchanging. And the reason why I say he's unchanging, because you can go to him at any time, any place, any hour, and he's going to be there for you. I know some people don't necessarily believe in God, and some people have been through things, and they're probably even mad at God because something happened or something didn't happen. And I know some people have doubts, but I'll say this to you. Continue by all means to pray and maintain a spiritual relationship with God. And I say spiritual because religion and religiosity is not good for anybody. People that are religious are not open-minded to others. They condemn everybody. They constantly say, you're right and I'm wrong, and I'm right and you're wrong. There is always a debate. So religion doesn't help people. But the umbrella of love with spirituality helps all people. And so that's why I say, make sure you keep a spiritual life by praying. So this inspirational quote, like I said, is a reminder to stay humble in the midst of every blessing. Stay humble no matter what season you are in. If you are in a season where things are are happening, and it's a little complicated, stay humble, stay focused. If you are in a season and everything's going very good, stay humble, stay focused. If you are in a season and it's a storm in your life, stay focused and stay encouraged. All things are subject to change. And so on that note, I am going to conclude this episode of Ask Me Favorite Thinking Podcast. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in today. I will be back once again later in the week with another episode. I try to do episodes on Mondays or Tuesdays because it is important to stay consistent, and that's why I am here. So, if you would like to give to the podcast, please give at Cash App, $SB Favor, or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. And if you do not want to give on the apps, please contact me at sbfavor@yahoo.com, and I will provide information so that you can give in other ways. Or you can go to my Facebook page, which is SB Favor Thinking Podcast on Facebook. You can find my business address there. And like I said, if you need to reach me for any other reasons, you can find me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. And you can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click like, click the bell so that you can receive a notification each time there's a new episode of SB Favor Thinking Podcast. Also, if you listen to me on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Audible, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to me, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow me on social media and send me some feedback. Let me know what you are thinking. I appreciate you listeners. And share the podcast with others. I thank you so much. Stay safe and you have a good day.